I'm Ariana Grande.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Erivo.
And you're listening to the Sentimental Men podcast.
Visit vpn.fm to discover more.
Ariana Grande, thank you so much for joining us on Sentimental Men.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad that we can do this, and we didn't coordinate or anything.
I know, it's just...
We just happened to
wear...
but
I'm jealous of the pink sweatshirt.
Especially me, jealous.
Thank you so much. I'll see what I can do. I thought they were doing pink ones and green ones, and people were just getting luck of the draw, pink or green, but then no one else had them.
Those are limited edition.
I thought that was the plan, and then I was wrong. But yours are great.
I can't believe you're here right now. Cannot thank you enough for joining.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored. I'm such a fan, and I love your show.
Thank you.
So we start every interview with, how did Wicked the musical enter your life as a normal person? What is your first touch point with the show?
Wicked the musical entered my life when I was 10. I got to see the original Broadway cast. I was very, very, very fortunate to see them. And it was during the Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS when they do the auctions after the show. And I kept bidding, and my mom was like, "That's enough, oh my God." But they were auctioning off a backstage tour. And
had you known about Wicked prior, or was it just a random thing that your mom bought tickets to?
No, it was just the show that everyone was talking about, and we love The Wizard of Oz, and I love Judy Garland, and I've always been a huge Wizard of Oz person. So, the untold story of the Witches of Oz, we were like, count us in. And I don't think we had any idea what we were in for. I knew we were all just kind of life before and after Wicked, there are so few things that I feel that way about, but it's like, when art can shake you like that, I just all know, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Sorry. That might happen a lot. That might happen a lot. So let's just get it. I'm so sorry. I think they're okay. That's the whole story. I mean, really, it just moved us so much. And I remember getting the soundtrack and learning all the words within the first week of having it. I mean, I loved it so much. I got to, again, we did the auction and we got to go backstage and meet everyone. And I remember Adina gave me a little green bracelet, and just being so excited to meet everyone. And Kristin was just over the top, kind and generous. She gave me a little wand, which feels so full circle and insane, and a body wash that had glitter in it. And she said it was magical, and now I really believe that it was.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was just a really beautiful experience, and I have loved it and turned to it for comfort ever since. Like, the soundtrack has always been such a safe space for me, and I've always listened to it if I was nervous about something or to warm up. It's funny because I started in musical theater, and pop music sort of, I think my dogs are going to howl and sing a long note because there's sirens and they might react to that. So just warning you.
Our sirens.
No, they're mine. I'm sorry that I came with so many.
No, it's so perfect. We're allowed to.
What was I saying? Oh yes, but yeah, I don't know. Musical theater and Wicked in particular were always kind of my most grounding and comforting things that I would turn to.
What was your first musical love growing up a musical theater girly? What kind of gave you the bug?
I don't know. I mean, maybe Wizard of Oz.
Oh.
Myron, I'm so sorry. I think I should I let him out really quickly and then come right back?
Yeah,
I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry. This is this is my full-time life. This is my full-time job. I'm so sorry. I work for Myron. Myron, do you have a second with you? Okay, good boy. Yeah. Absolutely. You tell him. There's nothing there. Hold on, I'm so sorry. Okay, to lose you too? Absolutely nothing's there. I'm coming back. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Hi.
It's okay.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Hi.
So if you're saying Broadway's kind of your first love, or musicals are kind of your first touch point, and then as pop music kind of entered your life, what was that conversation like internally between well, here's this pop music career that is happening. How does that interact with my Broadway dreams?
Because when you're in 13, are you now thinking, okay, I'm going to grow up and be a Broadway diva, this is my path? Or was there other options on the table?
Well, I had always hoped to do a little bit of both. And because I loved writing and I loved singing as well. And I loved pop music too. But I never figured it would become my whole life the way that it did for a decade. Really, it was kind of the only thing, and that I didn't see coming. I just kind of like I loved theater. I loved being on Broadway. I loved going to shows, and my favorite thing in the world about musical theater was that it also integrated comedy. There's so much comedy, and that's always been something that has made my heart so happy. Is comedy. It's one of my favorite things in the world. So I don't know. I think I pictured it being more. I think I pictured myself being more of a theater person, and like I would make music too, and hopefully I would have a little fan base that would be into my albums and do a little bit like. And I remember like people at the time like would make fun of me for it, and they were like, "Oh, like what are you gonna do? Music and like have fans and whatever?" And I was like, "I don't know, maybe." I was like, I don't know, but it was funny because yeah, I've never really talked about it, but when I was younger, some people actually like lightly bullied me about it and were like, "Oh, you're always singing," like whatever. It was a strange, interesting thing. But yeah, it's really funny. I don't think I expected for pop to become the only thing for such a long time. But
Right.
I'm very grateful for everything, of course, but it's funny.
But I do imagine when your pop career is careering, it becomes then difficult to find your way to the stage. Do you feel like you kind of have to segment it out when you're in the bag of either lane?
Well, yeah, just because it's so strange. Like to me, I've been doing what I've been doing since I'm 8 years old, and I know what I love to do and can do. And, you know, being a part of shows and auditioning, and you know, that's such a happy, fun thing in my youth and my life. But it's funny because people need to, and this is something that I loved about auditioning so much for Wicked, was that like it has to be earned. Anything, as you know, on this scale, being a part of anything, I think it's not just like given because they know you for one thing. So it's fun to kind of have the challenge of reframing people's perception and kind of like doing the work to earn your way back into the other spaces, because it's not just a no-brainer because I know what happened one time a long time ago. You know, I don't know.
Right.
Was that the question? No, not at all. It was so long ago.
Well, I think that's interesting though, is like what you're saying about feeling like you want to earn your way back into these other spaces, because I think it would probably be easy for you in the position that you're in to just be like, I would like to be in a Broadway show, who will have me, you know? But it's like the fact that you want to earn that and you want to be...
It needs to be valid. You don't want to just walk in because you're Ariana Grande.
Well, that's so ridiculous. But no, I really do feel like it's the opposite. I feel like it's the opposite in a lot of ways. And I think, well, that's how I see it anyway. And it's funny because people sometimes say that to me. They're like, "You had to audition?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I had to audition. Of course. What are you, out of your gourd?" It's Wicked, and it requires a
Right.
totally different skill set than people know me for and have ever seen me do anything like. And of course, it's Wicked. That's the most respectful thing you have to do. It has to be earned, period. And I think that's I think it was the opposite. I think it can work against me, you know, in certain ways, because you know, when you have this caricaturized persona that's out there and people know you very well as this one thing, it's like, how, you know, is this person going to be able to erase that and disappear into a character that we need them to offer themselves to this greater story, you know? And it's not about them. This isn't about
Right.
me. So that's what I love and I missed so much about acting, though, is because with music, I feel like I have so much of my own stuff intertwined, like my own pain, my own stories, my own, it's very self-aggrandizing and very whatever. And I feel like with acting, you get to use those pieces of yourself while honoring something way bigger than you. And find new homes for these traumas and these things and these pieces of yourself that, but also it's not about you. It's about giving to a character that you get to love and to know. And that's a really beautiful, I can't even explain it, extraordinary experience. It's like the best thing. It's such a gift and a cool thing. I'm so grateful I got to do this.
Okay, I want to hear all about the movie Audition, but before we get into it, can you just paint a picture? You see Wicked on Broadway that first time. What did Ariana Grande as a Wicked fan look like? What bootlegs were you watching? Who were the ladies you were into?
Oh my gosh. At that age, I had like my curly brown hair and a little headband in. I went with my family and I adored them. I like studied the cast. I completely adored them. I went home and I Googled them all and I was such a fan. I remember I had a little iPod and I deleted everything else on the iPod except Wicked. I was like, I don't need to hear anything else ever again.
Yes.
That was me.
His iPods held like 6 songs at that point.
Yeah. Even if they held more, it was not what I wanted.
And I imagine you saw it multiple times after seeing it that first time?
I did. I was very lucky. My mom definitely spoiled me and I got to go see it a few times. So that was really cool. But I went early. Like I went when it was the original Broadway cast and then I didn't see it again for many years. So that was I'm like so lucky. It's such a crazy experience.
Okay, so now take us inside the movie Audition. When was the first time the prospect of auditioning came across your desk?
Okay, so the prospect of auditioning came across my desk actually way before they had even attached John, which is crazy. And it was just a murmuring of a something. And
pre-pandemic?
Yeah, pre-pandemic.
Okay.
And I remember I was on the Sweetener tour and I said to my team, I said, if this is happening now, we have to figure it out. We got to pull the plug on this tour. I'm going home. I'm getting in voice lessons. I'm getting in acting lessons and I'm going to turn this shit out. You need to hear from me right now. If this is happening now, I'm going home and I'm training. I'm getting ready. This is all I want and it's done. It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. And my team was like, well, that's insane. No. And I was like, well, yeah. And they were like, okay. So it was.
And at that point, was it for Glinda or Elphaba?
I had an inkling in my heart always that it was going to be Glinda. But I was hearing really mixed things from people who were like, oh, they want you to maybe read for both or whatever. And I was like, well, I guess that's because they don't know what my voice is maybe can do, and maybe they like think vocally I might be better suited for Elphaba, but that's the fun, and that's like what I think I secretly knew that I could, was only meant for Glinda, but and that's for a few like different reasons that we can talk about later, but I just kind of knew that was what it was. But either way, I was going to be open to the conversation. And I basically was just like, hello, let's talk, whatever it is. And I even floated the idea of us, like, what about Glinda? A few times. And nothing. There was nothing. It was just like, okay, we think this is coming up. And I was like, when? And then they said, in the next couple of years. So that was when I kind of became very alert and very aware. And that was like kind of around the time that in the middle of the pandemic, I kind of started working with Nancy Banks, my acting coach. But it was just on random stuff, just on like monologues and plays and whatever, just because we wanted to start using that muscle.
Keep the instrument up.
Using the muscle and like playing around. And then I finally got wind of, okay, it's happening for real. In 2021. No, that's not true. Oh no, I don't remember. Wait. My audition, because my first audition was August 13th, 2021. Yeah, 2021.
Your first real audition?
Yes, my first real audition was August 13th, 2021.
Okay.
And but before that, when I heard that they were gonna start seeing people, I went just straight into vocal and acting lessons every day. This is when I was filming The Voice, and I would basically start my day with my lessons, and then I'd go shoot the show. And
at that time, what in your head is like, okay, I need to work on this if I'm going to be going in for Wicked?
I wanted to just basically strengthen and change my kind of like vocal muscles and how they are, because I do have a high range, but it's a very different thing, than what's required of Glinda. So I really wanted to train so that I could sound as authentically operatic as possible, and really use those muscles, because it's been a long time. Of singing one certain way, and your vocal cords, it's just like any other muscle in the body. They get used to a certain thing.
Right.
Yeah, so I had to kind of dig in, and really, I wanted to do it every day to train them to behave, and so that it was natural and that it was healthy and it sounded really full and warm and how it's supposed to for Glinda, because I had been singing one specific way for such a long time. But yeah, I sort of just began really kind of preparing, and even just like reading through the Broadway script a whole bunch. And oh my God, sorry.
Perfect.
He might need to come back in, but I'll give it one more second before he tells me what he needs. Yeah, so I began that process, and oh my God, okay, I'll be right back.
And so you're doing all of this.
Yes, wait, no, tell me.
I said, so you're doing all of this before there's even like a date on the books to audition. You're just prepping so that you're ready.
Yeah, I just wanted my muscles and my tools to know what they're doing and be ready to do anything. Like, I had a feeling they were going to make me sing for both roles, even though they weren't actually considering me for both roles. I had a feeling they were going to have me sing both, and they did. They had me sing in my first audition, No One Mourns Popular, Wizard and I, and Defying Gravity.
Wow.
So that was a really fun first audition. But I came in and I had like my pink thermos and I had my pink thing, and it was very obvious what I was campaigning for. Yeah, I was like, sure, whatever you want.
Sure, you're sure you want to hear this one.
Whatever you want and more, whatever you need. I'll bring coffees, whatever you think. But like, no, we know. I'm here for one thing specifically. Hold on, I'm gonna let Myron back in, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh no, never mind. He completely doesn't want to come in.
Ariana, I do have to say,
sorry,
a majority of the Glindas we have on this show have this same chaotic energy
Really?
during the interview.
What? It's my pet. Yeah. Oh my God. There really is something baked into these roles, though. There really is.
There's something like genetic that comes to play. Yeah.
I'm honored to hear.
Okay, so that first audition, tell us more about exactly what you did. Did you read any scenes?
No, so the first one was just singing, and
Gotcha.
I was 45 minutes early for everything. For every single time they saw me, I was 45 minutes early, and I remember like I was blasting. I was with my assistant, and I was with my manager, my day-to-day manager, Ray, and my assistant, Diane. And we were driving around in Burbank, just like circling and like blasting One Short Day. And you can ask me, like, why, like that, but that was the one that we were like, repeat on One Short Day. And, and John was like outside, and he was like, I didn't realize that he was outside, but he told me later on that like he heard and saw me circling every time forever. Like he was like, she's crazy. And so early. Why is it so early?
And why was it One Short Day?
Because that was the song. That is the song.
That's the song.
Which I will say, in the movie, that like opening choral as the train is coming into the Emerald City made me teary.
Yeah, me too. The first
It's
time
so
we
good.
didn't, that wasn't attached to it until recent. That wasn't like, we didn't get to hear that done until just now, because the last things that they did were the like orchestrations and the choruses and that kind of thing. So that was a surprise for Cynthia and I too. We were like, oh my God, it's a lot.
Yeah, really beautiful.
But yeah, we're blasting One Short Day.
So then after that first audition, what was the call that was like, hey, so like we've made the distinction. She's clearly a Glinda. then are you coming back in and just focusing on a
Well,
Glinda after
even
that, or
going
what?
in that day, I have to be super clear. I said, I will sing whatever they want, but I'm going in for Glinda. Like, I told them, I was like, this is who I am. I will sing both for fun if they want that. Like, I don't care what it is, of course.
Like, I got it.
I was like, girl, let's go. I better, let's figure it out. No, but no, but it was clear from the start. But then the callback was singing again and scenes from the first and second film. The second audition had Thank Goodness, and it had some scenes in it from the Broadway show, nothing from the movie script. And then my third time was chemistry read. I think I was there for 3.5 hours.
Wow.
I read with 2 different actresses that were amazing. And it was just a long, exhausting, but like floaty, out of body, buzzy, so much adrenaline experience. And I had cried so much. My lashes were kind of like erect. And John was like, okay, like, we really appreciate your time. Like, thank you so much. I think you can, like, go to the car and collect yourself and have a beautiful rest of your day. Like, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And I was like, okay, bye everyone. And I left my lashes on the mirror because I was like, well, bye. That's all, folks. I was officially left everything else I had to give in this room. So
Blood, sweat, and lashes.
So don't forget about it. I'm gonna leave my lashes on the thing.
Don't forget me.
No, but it was it was really special and beautiful. And I remember even in the very first audition, I just felt such a really beautiful connection with everyone, especially John.
And are you gaining more confidence as each audition continues, or are you still living in the state of anxiety?
I think I felt a lot of anticipatory excitement and positive anxiousness, but I never felt afraid. I felt grateful and excited and inspired and prepared. But John made me feel so comfortable. And the thing that I was really excited by and grateful for, and that surprised me in a big way, was he loved the little risky choices that I was making that were not to the Bible, that were like not what like I kind of like grew up hearing and listening to. Yeah. And he loved it. And he was like, I love that. That's fun. That's really cool. Let's like keep playing. I love when you play.
Right.
So that was really exciting to me because I was like, oh, this is in the hands of someone who is just here to like catch butterflies. He's inspired and he knows every single inch of it. He loves every single inch of it. But that is what's so beautiful, is that he is inspiring play and truth and listening and reacting, which is basically the whole point of everything. But he's not here to bring the stage show to the screen. He's here to kind of maximize how we're telling this story and get to know these women in a new way.
Right. He's not looking for impressions of.
No, it felt really beautiful that immediately he was like, keep playing. This is so fun. And I was like, oh my goodness, I feel safe and positive and just this like thoughtful, amazing human being is in charge. And I love knowing that as a fan. Even if I don't get this part, I fucking love his attitude towards this. It's right. And it shows how much he loves and cares about it. So I felt a really immediate connection with him. And I remember Tiffany Little from Telsey casting was my alphabet during Popular, and she had a mask on because it was like there was a random COVID wave in LA, and they had to postpone the Fierro auditions because all of the Fieros had COVID. And so she was wearing a mask, and it was just the sweetest thing because her eyes were smiling, and I loved knowing that she was giggling, and it was really sweet. I'll never forget that.
Well, so that's interesting. Growing up as a fan of the show, how do you reconcile now having to audition for the part? How much of, okay, I'm going to emulate what I know to be this character, or I'm going to bring my own unique take to it?
Well, I think that's the thing, is that being a fan of something and then living it and kind of taking it on in this insanely personal, intimate way are two completely different things. And I wanted to make that differentiation immediately. I was like, okay, I'm not going to watch or listen to, anything right now. I want to basically just get to know this girl and read the script a million times with Nancy and ask all these questions and kind of find my Glinda while also finding certain physicalities and familiarities to honor what we all have known and loved for so many years, because there is a specific Glinda type thing, that is written. This role was written so beautifully and iconically and brilliantly by Kristin and Winnie. That was a very collaborative thing. A lot of the most iconic lines in the stage show were ad-libs by Kristin. So it for me was about finding that balance, because it has to be truthful. It can't be an impersonation, because that's very easy to do.
Right.
And lines that I've heard and I've known for 20 years take on a very new meaning when you break them down and look at them differently,
Especially given your personal closeness to the source material, just as a person with a friendship with another person. Is there guidance that came from Kristin? Was she more she let you do your own thing?
When did you tell her you were going in for it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. So we had talked about it for years and years and years. And, but me finally confessing to her that I wanted to go in for Glinda was a whole different thing. And I finally confessed to her, because I sang Wizard and I on the anniversary special. So I think she assumed, okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's totally do that. But I confessed to her. I said, hey, I think they're doing this now, and I think that I want to go for Glinda. And she went into the bathroom and closed the door and started crying. And she was just it was the sweetest thing in the world. Oh my God, it makes me emotional. But it was so cute. And she was just like, oh my God, I was hoping this would happen. I love you and I trust you with it, baby girl. She was like, just do your thing. She was like, just do your thing. She was like, you are so funny and you have great instincts, and no one knows that. You're going to backdoor him, she said. And I was okay. So she had a very positive reaction, thankfully. And she was very supportive, but I didn't send her things. I didn't go over the material with her. I kind of just wanted to keep to myself. I kept to myself so much from my family, from Kristin, from everyone, from I didn't want to talk about it. I just didn't want to talk about it at all. And she would check in on me and tell me things she was hearing, and it was very sweet and very supportive. But I think she still hasn't heard or seen my Glinda yet. So I'm excited. She's gonna see it on the 28th. So I'm excited. I think I hope she feels how much this film is a love letter to her and Adina, while also we wanted to also do our own Elphaba and Glinda for this as well. And I think it might make her really happy.
Yeah, I think so.
What's interesting about Glinda in the movie is she has all of the stage Glinda-isms, the classic lines that you would want from Glinda, but then they also wrote a lot of new ones for you that you put your own spin on that I think are going to be canon.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to hear you say that, because I ad-libbed a lot of them, and I'm surprised that they made them into the movie. I was really shocked that they made them in, but that's what I'm saying about John. He was just play, play, play. And he trusted us so implicitly. So I played, and then I was like, oh my God, they made, wait, I don't remember. I don't remember saying that. And B, it's in the film. That's crazy. I can't believe any of my nonsense.
Is I Love Air an ad-lib?
I don't remember. Maybe, probably. The ones that I know for sure were, I I couldn't possibly, this is your moment, I'm coming.
Oh my God.
And that was just like, he was like,
They're selling the movie with that line.
I was so excited. I was like, wait, it made it into a trailer. That's crazy. I don't know. There was a bunch of surprising, lovely moments like that I couldn't believe even made it in. But yeah.
From first audition to that Zoom call that we've all seen, how long was that period?
I can't tell if he just is upset with an animal or if he wants to come in. From the first audition to getting the call was 3 months.
It's pretty condensed, all things considered.
But it felt like 14 years. Yeah, 14 years.
When you got the call, you said, I'm going to take such good care of her. What does that mean to you?
I think what that meant to me was that this was going to have all of me. You know, there wasn't going to be any other thing in my brain or in my workload. Like, I wasn't going to be writing music. I wasn't going to be on as many of my calls that I'm usually on for my beauty and my fragrance and my other things that I think require more of me than people would assume. But all of that was kind of like, I was like, hi to my team. I love you very much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be gone. Love you so much. And I really tried to give my full self to her and just honor her and do the work as best as I could, you know?
Right. As somebody who does have lots going on constantly and lots of different plates spinning at once, what was it like kind of letting other people keep the other plates spinning
Horrible.
while you focused on one thing?
No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. No, I have an incredible team that really, really took care of the other departments, you know, during that time. But, you know, I'm a very hands-on person. With everything that I do, I'm very hands-on. So that was very hard for me, but it was a lot easier because I was playing Glinda. You know, that's like the idea of that is not an option to me. Like, there's no other time that I would really ever do that. But you know,
Step that far back from things.
yeah, I had like a separate phone for the first few months. Like, I had a pink phone with, like, you know, it was like I was gone. I just wanted to fully be there and be as present as humanly possible, and, you know everything I needed to know, read every book, read everything, do all the things, and give myself over entirely. I didn't write music. I did one feature at the very beginning. And then that was kind of it.
I mean, I think in watching from an outside perspective, you have done such a beautiful job at balancing Ariana Grande TM duties and Ariana Grande Glinda duties. And I think that's like only goes to show how much you care about this project in particular. It rings true and is very clear that you are devoting a large amount of your time and energy to making sure that this project is done correctly.
Thank you. That means a lot, especially coming from you too. But yeah, it's when something once in a lifetime like this happens, like, every single second counts, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it deserves all of us and the best of us.
What were you most scared about? You get the offer. Now, you're so happy and
Like,
excited.
fuck, now I have to do it. Oh my God, wait, I hope it goes well.
Then what is the anxiety? After you're over the excitement, what is keeping you up at night? Like, oh my God.
I think, you know, I felt a little bit of the initial nervousness or the sort of preconceived notions about what I might be able to deliver or not deliver, or why I would be wrong or whatever. You know, I think, of course, like any human being caring something about something they care so much about like that, you know, it's been a great secret. You know, they didn't get to see any auditions or know anything. So, you know, going off of side to side, I probably would have said the same thing. I probably would have said, why the fuck? kill me. I've waited 20 years for this. Kill me. I've waited. Yeah, like I would have said that as a fan from the outside, knowing of only 7 rings, probably I'd say, well, that's bullshit. So I get it, but I think that initially in the beginning I was like, okay, I'm going to try to turn that off and just do the work, keep my blinders on, and focus and train and do the best I can. But I think that was an initial, like, a little bit of a gulp moment.
Yeah.
But I tried not to let it derail me.
I was going to say, like, do you feel a satisfaction in, like, surprising people this way?
I think I just feel like a tremendous gratitude. I think, like, to see the Wicked fans like embrace at all, it's just like it's really special. It's really, yeah, that's the feeling I can. It's just gratitude, really.
Was there something that you, like, couldn't wait for? Like, something that you were like, I can't wait to do this with my Glinda?
I mean, I love improv and I love playing. So there was so much space to try and play and hopefully make Cynthia break and laugh, or Michelle, or so. I love that. I love making people laugh, and I was just so excited because it's my favorite thing. Genuinely, I think making people laugh is if I had to put everything on a whatever, it would be my favorite. So I think that was the thing I was most excited for, because Glinda, there's so much room for play, and you can deliver the same line, really heartfully. As some of these lines are designed to do both, and that's what I think the beauty of Glinda is because some of the things she's saying are really hilarious to someone else, but she means them in, like, the most beautiful way, and that's my favorite thing about her. It's like, you don't have to play the joke, because what she's actually feeling is funny to begin with, and the fact that her heart, it's just that is the joke. So there's so many different ways. So I think playing and John just encouraging it was something I was really excited for.
And we were saying after seeing the movie, your Glinda is so matter of fact. Like, all the funny almost goes over your head, which then makes it more funny for the audience.
Thank you.
So tell us about the first time you and Cynthia were in a room together after having gotten the roles.
Well, we FaceTimed for the first time like 15 minutes before the announcement went out. I'm not kidding. We had no idea. No, not 15 minutes. It was like 4 hours.
Okay.
And we had sent each other flowers, and we had but we hadn't been able to connect yet because we were both busy doing stuff. And we were like, oh my God, this is happening now. It's happening now. So we met over FaceTime, and I immediately loved her, obviously, of course. And then that was the first time
So you did not chemistry read with her?
No. We both read with, oh my God, holy shit. Where? And then we met for the first time in person at John's house. He had a welcome dinner, and
was it nerve-wracking that you hadn't chemistry read with her and we're now going into this?
No, I don't know why. I think I know of her greatness, of course, and I know that she's the best, most formidable actress and singer that there is. So that part was easy, and I felt a kindness from her the first time we connected, and I knew we'd be okay. And also we had a really real conversation at the very beginning, just kind of about what we're not going to do and how we're not going to be and what we're not going to allow. And
you guys are signed up for this 2+ year journey now.
Oh, it's already been 3, hasn't it?
Right. And now you have 2 more years.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
And I think, like, even aside from like the time commitment, it's just deserving of the best of us. And that requires real honesty and real trust. This whole movie is not going to work. You can spend as much money as you want on flying monkeys in the air and talking brilliant goats, which we'll get to that. We'll get to that later. We need a full hour second episode. But it really has to. It really falls on Elphaba and Glinda to take care of each other. And I think that is I think that's really palpable when you see it. And I hope so. I think us taking care of each other and forming a real, true friendship, and being honest with each other about everything, always, at all times, being there for each other when we're in a silly mood, when someone needs, like all of it, leaving space for everything and getting to know each other in that way, where like I can just look at her and I know what she's thinking, and she can just look at me and she knows exactly what, and helping each other too. It's like we immediately formed that, because without that, nothing else works. Nothing else matters and works. I've never done this, but it's really nice and satisfying. I'm like doing this.
I've been loving it.
Is it because I'm talking about Cynthia and I'm doing nails because I'm talking about sin? No. But that was an immediate commitment, We had that conversation. We were like, hey, let's do this for real.
Well, and it's like relatively like such a simple decision to make, like, hey, you and me are signed up for this like 5-year-long thing together. Like, we need to choose now to make this a good experience.
Yeah, but it's also really hard work though, because
to commit to hold yourself to that, right?
Yeah, because we need to be there for each other, and there's not a battle that she has to fight alone or that I have to fight alone. There are many little challenges along the way, and being there for each other and having each other through it all, the highs and lows and mids and ups and downs and everything in between was truly a magnificent gift. There's nothing we can't talk about and didn't.
Right. It's nice too, because, we hear a lot of the women who do the show on Broadway talk about like the Green Girl sisterhood, that it's like whenever a new Elphaba gets cast, it's always like messages or whatever from all the previous. But like you two are the only two in the world who know what it's like to play these characters on film for 12-hour days for months on end.
And you were doing it in such a vacuum.
Right. So it's like the importance of that support system it makes me very happy that you guys had that in each other.
Me too. It's really beautiful. It really is.
And it reads. It's so palpable.
Thank you.
So what was something, as you're shooting the movie, what was something that you learned about Glinda that was surprising to you?
I mean, I think I learned this in the preparation leading up to. I'll try to think about something new that I learned during filming, because things really took on a whole new life once you actually get there and are filming. But I think the thing that I learned in digging into her in this way, preparing whatever, was like why I love her and feel so connected to her. Because obviously it's like the comedy and the high notes, and I love all of those things. But I think also there's a very specific thing about kind of her relationship to the Aussians, and kind of that love that they give her and that validation that they give her, and her kind of hoping for the good in them, and kind of like trying to spoon feed them. In No One Mourns the Wicked, she's trying to spoon feed them this opportunity. She's like, hey, wait, hold on, can't we just for 1 second, can't you just consider that this happened to her? And there's this tightrope that she walks, and there's grief and loss and tragedy that she has to stomach while also performing for these people that she feels need her, while she's also needing so much. and that is like a specific thing. It's a specific thing.
You know that. Yeah.
I think Kevin had said when the casting came out, it is really inspired casting, because in a lot of ways you are our culture's modern day Glinda. And so it's like
so
really
nice.
cool to see the meta narratives.
Oh my God. You are a believer? That's so nice.
Oh yeah.
I'm kidding.
Girly pop.
I'm
Never
kidding.
a doubt in my mind.
I'm kidding. No, but I think what became like so clear to me when I was actually digging into the material was that. And just kind of, I was like, oh wow, I feel like this song like I feel like thank goodness was like written for me. Like I feel like that's
Right.
like a moment that I have lived in real life. And I think that I was kind of surprised by the things that I thought made me feel so connected to her being like third and fourth on the list, you know?
Right. That's yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a healing thing to get to know her and spend time with her.
Can we talk about Popular?
Please, yes. Oh my God.
It is one insane on screen. How much of that was blocked and choreographed, and how much of that is you on set in the room playing and figuring it out as you go?
So all of it was blocked and choreographed.
Okay.
Some pieces were blocked and choreographed on day one. Like my very first day was Popular in rehearsals with Chris and Leah and Will and Comfort. But it was funny because I was so grateful because Chris was so collaborative, and like a lot of the bits didn't have as many like jokes. Like it was highly choreographed, and but we got to make it Glindified, and it was very like collaborative and fun and silly. Like I'll never forget when we found the bit where I'm gonna like spin the ball and it falls off my finger, and I'm sure that it's still there. And like, you know, in the beginning, they were like, we have to teach you how to do that so it stays in your finger. I was like, no, you don't. I was like, you can't.
Do not teach me a
No,
lick.
no. That's the joke. We have to do the joke. That's the joke.
Right.
And then like throw the wand and don't let me catch it. You know, like that's the bit, you know. We had so much time to work on that choreography, and I have so many long videos on my phone of us just doing it in the rehearsal space, fully through, full out. Me and Cynthia running around. You know, when you shoot it, it's like chunk per chunk, like
Right.
little section by section. But we were rehearsing it in full most of the time. And the only section that was separate was the hallway, because that was a random decision, last minute, a day before we filmed, a day before we started filming. Because we weren't sure if we were going to use the classic ending of Popular or if we were going to use the version with the modulations and with the key changes.
Which Kevin died when that happened.
It squealed.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good.
That makes me so happy. But we weren't decided. Like we didn't know if it was right or if it was too much. Like we didn't know until like 2 days before. Alice and John were like looking at the shiz hallway, and they were like, this hallway is so beautiful. Like, what do we do? Like, how can we utilize this set? It's insane.
Ariana, go spin.
Yes. And Chris Scott was like, wait a minute, I have an idea. And they put on the extended outro, and he just kind of did this like down the hallway and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I as a joke one day in rehearsal did like a kick, and he was like, what is that? And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, you're doing that. I'm finding a place for that. So that's how that kind of came along. It was 2 days before, and I had just recovered from COVID, and I still had a mask on, and he was teaching me the choreography in the hallway, and then we decided we went for it. I mean, he choreographed it in minutes. And we all were like, we have to do it. We're doing it. So that was not even planned.
Even there's a melody shift in Popular that I can't recreate right now, but do you know what I'm talking about? There's like a slight melody shift in the verse or chorus of the song that you do.
I don't know. I don't remember.
You're like in your version. Kevin, do you remember?
Is it like an ad-libby thing, or is it like an alt?
It's like an alt note that happens twice, so it must be like on a verse or chorus or something that's slightly different.
Lil R.
Yes, that's
her.
Yes. I imagine there's a million versions of every song on record somewhere. How were you going into it deciding I want to do this exactly as is, or I want to add my own flair to it? Because I also think something that you and Cynthia both do is, yes, there are vocal moments where you add your own flair, but for the most part, you're giving true to form musical theater performances of these songs, which I think is really good for the longevity of this soundtrack and your versions, and will help it live on.
Thank you. I think it was, I mean, I'm such a purist in that way. You know, I believe in, I love this original, you know, Wicked music so much. I wanted to kind of be as Bible as possible, but also offer kind of little nuances and choices where it felt authentic or where it felt like not too much or,
Justified or whatever.
yeah, a little bit. So finding that little balance was really fun. A lot of times we would do things differently just on set, but instead of doing who you were, little R, and then the second time I do it, I don't remember. But I did that in my audition. I think that was something I think that's something that came with me the whole way. But
Wow.
one of my favorite Alphaba ones, is Live, the whole scale.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Just sitting on a bench, just the bench and the scale. Just a bench and a full scale. I love it so much.
When the casting dropped, we were like, Cynthia's going to be in I'm Not That Girl Alphaba. Like, it's not even one of the big three. We're like, we can just tell, like, she's going to unlock something with that
and she did.
her storytelling way.
She did.
And boy, did she.
My favorite thing about that performance is when she's on the bench and she goes, I'm not, like, in a way that's like, yeah, I'm not. And great.
Well, and that was something beautiful about her character. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, isn't that such a beautiful choice?
Oh, yes.
No, it is.
And her whole take on Alphaba is, I'm not angry at the world for not liking me. This is all I've ever known. And so why would I expect anything different? Which I think is a big tonal shift from stage to screen.
I love it so much.
Okay, you had told us a while ago that you felt like the fangirl gatekeeper on set and making sure that specific moments kind of kept their integrity. Do you have an example of one of those moments in the film?
Well, The Wizard Will See You Now was who rang that bell?
That was going to go?
That's the first one I can think of. The first one I can think of was The Wizard Will See You Now was missing.
Revolts. There had been riots in the street.
No, I was sick to my stomach. I'm telling you, this was the craziest moment of my life. This is the honest to God true story. True story.
Yeah.
Ready? This is my full honest to God truth, accurate representation of the story. John can completely come to my side and tell you. He sends me. Okay, so I got the role. It's so exciting. Oh my God, I can't believe it. We're going to London. Yeah. They send the script. Finally, we finally have the script and a cast and everyone's on board and we're doing it. They send the script. It's my first time reading the Wicked movie script.
Wow.
And
are you crying?
Yes, the whole time, of course. But I finish and I text John and I literally said, please call me. And he was like, what? Are you okay? And I said, I don't think I am. We need to talk. And he said, oh no, oh my God, okay, I'm stepping out. He has like 17 children. He was like, hold on, I'll be right back, hold on. And he steps out and he calls me. And he was like, what's wrong? And I was like, what is this? Who rang that bell? We can't do that. He was like, what are you talking about? I was like, it has to be The Wizard Will See You Now. Are you crazy? And then I called Cynthia. And I was like, Cynthia, did you finish the script? And she was like, yeah, I'm almost done, babe. And I was like, did you see it? And she was like, see what? And I was like, did you see the fucking Wizard Will See You Now is missing? And she was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, and she skipped ahead. And I was like, look, it's not there. It's who rang that bell. I get it. That's totally cool. I get it. I get that as well. That holds value and I get it. There's value there for sure. No.
But it's not what
So
we're
then
doing.
we called John together to address this massive problem. It was our first conversation
Conference
after
call.
the script. Like
John is like, God, these ladies.
the first thing on our task list, we literally bombarded him. I add her into the chat. We both the second we like, we have to handle this. It can't be that. It needs to be The Wizard Will See You Now. I'm not kidding. It has to be that. And we were like, we had to handle it. It was urgent. I was floored.
Oh my God.
Thank
you for your service.
Thank you so much. Oh, totally. But no, that was one little thing. There were other little things. I wasn't gonna arrive on the there was no moment where I'm sitting on the luggage and I tried to squeeze that in. Because even though
But that transition with the hand in the water.
Oh, beautiful.
you should have seen it before VFX. I was bald.
Really?
Yeah, because it was no, it looks beautiful now. But no, but I saw it the first time I saw the movie. I was like, oh my god, because the reflection. They were still like working on it, but the reflection in the water was like just the shape.
Right.
It was just like the shape of me and my hand in the water. So I was like, holy shit! I was like, wow, oh my god.
Gold hair with a gentle curl, eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is it? But no, it's I love that transition too. But no,
Oh, it's so
the
beautiful.
suitcase moment was that felt like it had to be there in some way, even if not in the same place as it usually happens. I just wanted to make sure it was there for the diehards, and a few other things weren't there. Magic wands need to have a point wasn't there, and something's very wrong. I didn't get my way. I need to lie down wasn't there. And then Bowen
So funny.
says, "We need a pastry." Is my favorite part of the movie. Is my favorite part. Can we talk about Bowen Yang?
Yes, there was both so good.
We need 3 more hours.
Well, we got to do another one after the movie comes out, and we can like
Okay.
maybe
Okay.
talk about yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'm putting on lipstick because I'm smiling so much. I'm dry. Hold on.
What has been the high and low of the journey up until this point?
Rose and the Thorn.
Well, I think I know this is so corny, but the low, I don't know. I can't. I think maybe how quickly everything happened and is happening.
It feels quick on your end
It does.
because you've been in it.
Yeah. And Cynthia and I were in the wizard's chamber, and she's like, we're gonna blink and it's gonna be May, babes. And I was like, no. And now it's October 20th, 2 years, you know what I mean, later, at a year and a half later. And she was right. It was very quick. But I mean, the highs, I think I learned so much from this project, and I'm just so grateful. It was just a really, I can't describe how special every single day was. And what I have learned from Glinda and what I've learned from Cynthia and John and every single person involved in this. And I don't know, it's really immeasurable, the gratitude that I feel. I can't really describe it. That didn't answer either, actually.
It was good.
I didn't answer one
No,
of them.
that answered both.
I didn't answer anything.
What was the most challenging scene for you to shoot?
Ooh.
In Act 1, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna go into Act 2. But I think I think the Oz dust. I think defying gravity, saying goodbye, and the Oz dust. You know, it's a turning point for Glinda, and holding space for Elphaba and for Cynthia that day. You know, it's so funny because I get like little heart flutters when I watch it, because I like remember how anxious that scene felt, you know? It's so funny. It's really strange. I asked Cynthia about this because when we watched it for the first time, I like felt certain things that I felt on the day when I watched them, which was so weird. Like my heart rate, like my heart started like fluttering when I like realized she was going to enter the Oz dust. It's so strange. And just kind of like watching her and that gut-wrenching moment. Yeah, I think that was a really big day, and defying gravity and saying goodbye and tying her cape and saying goodbye to my friend, and you know, that decision.
That
those
moment
were
with
hard
Michelle in
days.
Defying Gravity,
Yeah,
chilling.
yeah. I cried when I read that they added that, or that was there. When I was like, oh, that's so valuable. I'm so grateful that that's there. I just think it allows for us to kind of see that like this pivotal decision is happening, and not decision, but just kind of acceptance. And is it is it relief? Is it fear? Is it everything? It's just like a lot. I don't know. It's I like that we get to see where everyone leaves off and that we get to hear Cynthia sing Unlimited a few more times. I love
And
that
it
addition so
sets
much.
up to me the second movie so well, where we're all like,
Yeah.
okay, shit's about to go down now and
Yeah.
get a little serious.
Oh, yeah.
I love the little insert of Nessa Rose and their father.
How brilliant is she?
She is so good.
She's perfect.
Unreal.
She's so incredible. I know we're not allowed to talk about it, but I can't wait for you to see.
Well, that's the thing where I'm like, all the like side characters are really going to get a chance to shine in the second movie. And I just like, it's annoying to say, but I want the second movie now. And we haven't even gotten through the first one.
Me too. I got to be there and watch some of it. And it's like, I was dying. It's so cool. It's so good. Everyone is so good. It's really creepy. Sorry.
It's okay. We're all in the same place mentally.
The screening we went to, as soon as the first movie ended, everyone was like, play the second one.
That's good. That's great news. Oh my God.
And what I think is good about the film adaptation is on Broadway, it's very easy to get caught up into these divas singing down and get caught up in the performance of it all. And you forget that Wicked is kind of centered around the Dillerman storyline and animal rights.
It is a story about animals, really.
Yeah.
We're here.
And all of that rings true in the movie in a very real way. Even something bad hits in the movie.
It hits.
Which I don't know if I'd say on stage.
Honestly, thank God. I'm so happy to hear you say that. It's taken on a life of its own in the film.
I think we talked about too is just like the artistry involved in the animals does so much to further the heaviness of that plot. Like it hits so much harder because you're looking at a goat, not an actor with a goat mask on. And it's like the difference that makes is paramount.
He's so beautiful. Dr. Dillerman is the most emotional, moving, insane thing I've ever seen. I am thankful that he didn't look like that in the classroom when I'm being an absolute you-know-what to him. Because I wouldn't have gotten through the scene. There's no way. I mean, he's adorable, and I'm being an absolute, yeah. But also the actors who were doing the physical acting for Chistry and Dillerman. Oh my God.
Paint that picture for us, what it was like to be on set shooting that.
Oh my goodness. Well, Robin, who plays Chistry, they really modeled all of Chistry's movements after what he was actually physically doing in like a gray suit. He was just so beautiful and like such an incredible performer. Like the transformation scene where he's getting his wings, I was so like scared and moved.
There's a real person freaking out?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And what you see Chistry doing, Robin was doing in a bodysuit, and the sounds as well, like all of it. And he was just so beautiful, so moving. It was like so intense. Cynthia and I both were like choked up. Like it was very intense. There's so many like brilliant performers involved in this that I fear like without these behind the scenes pieces that I'm so happy Universal has been putting out and everything, people wouldn't be able to know about what other like this brilliance that is happening that's making this movie what it is. Like every single, like Louisa, who was our Dillerman, she was reading all the monologues, all the lines, all the everything, and physically doing the work as well. And on her like little like the specific arm movement things that she had to wear these little arm things so that she could be on all fours like a goat, and a thing on her head with fucking tennis balls over here. And I'm like, I'm gonna be a bitch to tennis balls today. That's doable. Like, no, you see it, we see it in the movie. I'm like, damn, that's really intense. No, no. But no, there's so much brilliance behind the scenes that I think, like, I'm so glad Universal's capturing and showing the world because it's really special. And I got to do some really special work with Robin in movie 2 as well. So I love him. He's just such a beautiful Chistry. I hope they show more footage of him being Chistry because it's just amazing. So amazing.
What I will say is I feel like there's a common fear or apprehension that I hear people have about this movie being nervous it's too CGI and it's going to be very animation vibes. But I would say in watching the movie, I was shocked at how real everything felt and how practical all of the sets were in actuality.
Oh, that makes me so happy. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that is CG is, the animals. Really, everything else was there. Everything else it was the most insane thing. These sets, Nathan Crowley is the most incredible set designer in the world. But just walking into like a theme park, it felt like every day. It was the craziest, most submersive thing in the world. And the yellow brick road and my bubble platform, and it was just. The Munchkin huts were actually functioning Munchkin huts.
Oh, really?
You'd go in there and there would be someone taking a nap. And I'd be like, holy shit, sorry. I was like looking for, I don't know, whatever, finding a coffee somewhere. But, I don't know. It was just really crazy. It was, all of it was practical. And I think you felt that.
Oh, can we talk about something I think that rings true in this movie between you and Cynthia before you two are friends, before Elphaba and Glinda are friends, is there's such a joy in taunting each other, and there's like a clear love even when you guys are being mean to each other.
Well, we admire each other.
It's like flirting more than it's like, yeah.
Well,
How much of that was directed and established, or is that something you just landed on in acting it out with them, with Cynthia?
I think that's just how we did it. I think we couldn't resist that urge because they don't, sure, they hate each other, but also they admire each other a lot. I want
They're fascinated by each other.
Yeah, she's fascinated. Yeah, we're fascinated by each other. I respect her talent. I see that. You know what I mean? It's interesting. Also, I think the reason why we dislike each other is because there's so much that we resonate with each other. We're like, oh, we have a lot in common, and I hate that. I hate that.
Mm-hmm. Right. I don't want to have a lot in common with this person.
Because I think they're the opposite of me, but something feels like home, and I can't figure it out yet. It's like, how could this person that is so supposed to be my opposite, why am I like falling in love with them? I can't figure it out. Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, that's just kind of how it felt, and we just followed it.
All right, Kevin, I think it's time.
Okay,
it's time for our last question. This is how we end every interview.
I know him.
Are you a No One Mourns the Wicked Galinda, a popular Galinda, or a Thank Goodness Glinda?
I think I'm a Thank Goodness Glinda for sure. I think I'm like on the cusp of No One Mourns the Wicked. I think that's probably my favorite to sing, but I think I'm a Thank Goodness Glinda for sure.
Why?
I think just because I've been there and I've asked those same questions and I've felt that feeling so many times. I think, it's just, like I said, I think it's a specific thing, and I've felt it and I know it, and sometimes we learn the hard way that the things that make us feel most ourselves and most full are the things that maybe we have had all along, or the weight that we thought this thing would hold isn't what you thought, this thing that people make seem so like the end all be all goal, although we're grateful for it and we're going to pep ourselves up to do this job, and it's a privilege, and we're going to do it, and we're going to be good and make people feel good. It can feel sometimes like so corrupt and empty. And I think that is something that I've like felt several times. And that is why I'm a Thank Goodness Glinda, because also there's also such a through line of even though it's bittersweet, there is a through line of gratitude in it. And I think that's something that has kept me afloat for my whole life, even in the hardest moments.
And now we have to just wait until 2025 to see Ariana Grande's Thank Goodness.
It'll fly.
Okay, we have some rapid fire questions that we're going to ask all your movie castmates.
I hope they're not about the moon.
No.
I
although
pray
we
they're not
believe you,
about the
Ariana.
moon landing. Oh my God, help me. Help.
So this can be, you have to answer with one of your Shiz class of 2024 castmates. You can only use each name once. Okay.
Okay,
So who was most likely to be first to set?
me. Me. Me or Ethan, early.
Most likely to be the last one to leave set.
Me. Or John.
Or John?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I love this game.
Most likely to take a keepsake from set.
These are like, is this a joke? Is this a bit? Did you do
Is
this?
it? Are these all going to
No,
be you?
you can't do this. No, okay, me or Cynthia, because we both stole quite a bit.
Most likely to option up during a song.
Oh, both of us, Cynthia and me. Her wizard and I, we didn't even get to talk about it yet. It's the best.
I want to know how many options are on record of her doing that, though.
Oh my God, I have them all. They're so good. They're so good. No, they're so good. You have no clue. Sorry. That's why it's kind of like, I wish we get, it's not fair. I want to do, you know what I mean? I want to do 8 shows a week so we can hear I want to hear every single Cynthia
We
Erivo.
were like, every city should just get a different version of the songs in
Yes,
the
I
movie.
know.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. What was the question?
Okay, go, Kevin.
It was an hour ago.
Most likely to stay in character after the camera stops rolling.
You can't do this to me. This isn't fair because you wrote them so that I'd say me for everything.
It's not true.
Oh,
No. I mean, I
There's
think
actually one on here that's designed for you, and we haven't even gotten there yet.
We haven't even gotten to it.
I would say me and Cynthia. I think everyone was a little lost in the sauce. I'd say everyone. And
Okay.
Jeff.
Everyone.
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff. Most likely to break character.
No one. Well, everyone, even when they giggled or broke, was still in character. That's the thing. Like, everyone was lost in the sauce.
A very dedicated group of actors.
Was there anybody who was easier to get to giggle?
Michelle.
Michelle.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Most likely to get the shot in one take.
I want to say everyone. Cynthia, everyone. Cynthia. Cynthia. Definitely Cynthia. Everyone, though. It's hard. Everyone is so good.
Most likely to cry on set.
Everyone. Me. Everyone. We all cried every day. That's the thing. We all cried. John cried. Cynthia cried. I cried. Johnny cried. Everyone cried.
It sounds like a very beautiful environment to work.
It was beautiful. It was really beautiful. That was terrible. That's it?
That's it.
That was it. That was the
Oh my God. Well, thank you.
Ariana, thank you for coming on. This is amazing.
I've been looking forward to this for such a long time. I hope it was all right. And
Us
I hope
too.
that you guys are happy with it. And I hope that we're going to hang up and then remember a bunch of things that we didn't talk about.
Well, we'll do this again. We got another year of movie time.
We got another movie to talk about.
Thank God.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Ariana Grande.
Thank
This
you
was
for
amazing.
having me. I had so much fun. I'll
Yeah.
have more answers. I'll be more concise next time.
This was good.